Good evening, Bruce Gandy, District 5.
Good evening. I'm Cynthia Fortson. I'm elected by the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Kenneth Bradley, Vice Chair, District 1.
As I stated earlier, I'm the chair appointed by the chairman of the Board of Commissioners.
Lee Mitchell, District 2.
And William Smith, District 4.
Of course, Ms. Tracy. Patrick, our zoning administrator. All right. I'm required to read a few statements tonight to let you know how we conduct ourselves and how we're going to conduct business tonight. As the first order of business this evening, I'm required to read a few statements regarding the zoning process. Should you have any questions after I have finished, please raise your hand and I will try to answer them. Zoning directly affects property rights. These include the rights of property owners to enjoy and to use the property, and the right of adjacent property owners and the general public not to be unreasonably harmed by specific land use. Tonight is the first of two public hearings. A second public hearing will be held before the Madison County Commissioners at 6 o'clock at this location. And will somebody help me with the date?
Yes, it'll be December the 4th.
December the 4th. Attendance by the applicants or their representatives is not required at that public hearing, but your attendance is encouraged in case questions come up, and I may not be able to answer them. Order of business. As to the order of business tonight, first I will introduce the applicant, and then the zoning administrator will give her comments. Then the applicant or their authorized agent will come forward, state their name and address, and sign in, and then state the reason for their request. You may provide any information or documentation supporting the application. Next, the planning and zoning members will have the opportunity to ask applicants questions to clarify their understanding of the issue relating to the application. Afterwards, I will open the floor for public comment in support of or in opposition to the request. We're required by law to allow at least 10 minutes on either side for public comment. Anyone who desires to speak will be given ample time to express their support and opposition to the request. However, we ask that you be as brief as possible and not be repetitive in your comments. We encourage groups with like concerns to elect a spokesman to make your presentation. All comments will be addressed to the commission and not others in attendance. No personal attacks will be allowed. After those who have had the opportunity to speak, the applicant will be invited back to the podium to rebut any negative comments and answer any concerns expressed by other speakers. Once the applicant has finished, the public hearing is then closed, and I will open a special session of the Planning and Zoning Commission. At this time, no further comments will be allowed by the public unless a person is asked a question by a member of the commission. The commission will then vote to recommend, approve, or deny of the applicant's request. This recommendation will be presented to the Board of Commissioners. The Madison County Planning and Zoning Commission is a recommending board only. Now I repeat, a recommending board only, consisting of concerned citizens who are appointed to a 4-year term by county commissioners. We're a fact-finding body that visits the properties, reviews the information associated with the application, consider public comment raised during public hearing, and within the guidelines of the comprehensive plan and other land use ordinances. Make recommendations to the Board of Commissioners regarding their application. The final decision is up to the Board of Commissioners. With that, I will ask anybody on the board, does any members need to recuse themselves for any request tonight that you are aware of at this moment? Hearing none, we'll go into the business of this evening, considering the zoning applications for November public hearing. The first one on the agenda is Tim Davis with Town Source LLC, applicant for Paulette James. Ms. Patrick, would you tell us about that, please?
Yes, sir. They are requesting a conditional use to allow a 290-foot cell tower to be erected on the property. Property is located at 951 Hammond-Williams Road in Danielsville on map 42, parcel 78 in District 2.
Mr. Davis, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Please come to the podium and tell us what we need to know.
Good evening, everybody. Yes, this is, I'm representing Tillman Infrastructures, who is the tower owner, working out the lease with the landowner. Actually, have worked out a lease. And they are putting up, they would like to put up a 290-foot tower to accommodate Verizon Wireless in that location, among other carriers who are interested in occupying that space. So we've kind of snuck that thing back up in the corner in the back along the tree lines of the access road off of J. Davis Road that way. So it's not coming off the main road out there, Hammond Road. So we've got, a police exhibit and survey and all that good stuff done. We're this far with it. It's in front of you guys. That's my spiel.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. Is there anybody on the board who have any questions for Mr. Davis? Go ahead.
There was, I know, we had one concern about lighting, the brightness.
All day, that can be handled very easily. They have those low intensity, being 290-foot FAA regulations are daytime strobe, which is a low intensity strobe. That's the white light. So at nighttime it's red, and those are low intensity as well. Tucked up on that hill and back in the corner, it will not permeate past that property line out to those roads. Airplanes can see it, but it's not going to be shining in your bedroom windows.
Okay.
Yeah, those were all taken into consideration over the past 20 years. Some of them were really bright.
Lee, you have a question?
Sure. I think I know the answer, but I'll ask it anyway. Does the property owner have any plans in the future to build anything, say, within 300 feet of the
No, she
property?
does not.
I know it has proper distance from the property line.
Mm-hmm. And we've met all the setbacks on it.
Andy?
Sure, when I was up there, I noticed there was some new wiring that you put in. It looked like Georgia Power lines and down at the bottom of the hill. Is that in conjunction with the cell tower at all? Is that
That's some of their own improvements, but I did meet them up there to come up with a power plan for this. And we've already, what's called a power walk. And it's their plans get incorporated into our plans, the CDs, the construction drawings, and everything else, and sets forth an account number and then the work, right? And to get up on that property, we're going to go underground all the way up to a ground-based transformer up at the compound. Okay. So yeah, they're already, and the fiber's already working up through there too. There's multiple fiber companies that are coming around.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Not, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
I will now open the public hearing. Is there anyone who would like to come forward and speak in favor of this rezone request or this conditional use? Hearing none, is there anyone here who wants to come forward and speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the board. I will entertain a motion to approve, disapprove, or approve with conditions.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve this request.
Okay, we have a, motion by Mr. Mitchell. I get a second. A second by Mr. Gandy. Any further discussion? Ms. Harmon? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Davis, we will recommend approval. Again, there will be a second public hearing before the commissioners, so please be here.
I sure will. Thank you.
All right, moving on to number 2, Sharon Foster, applicant for Hesby Seagraves Estate.
And she is requesting to rezone a 2-acre portion of her mother's estate from A1 to R1, split off for inheritance purposes. The remaining 38.10 acres will stay in the A1 zone. The property is located at 3741 Moonsgrove Church Road in Danielsville on map 28, parcel 106 in District 1.
All right, Ms. Foster, let's come forward.
Hello, everyone. My name's Sharon Foster. I live at 290 Wedgewood Drive, Danielsville, Georgia, 30633. My mother left me in her will 2 acres, which I have 3 other sisters, and 2 of the other sisters already have their 2 acres. And it was said that I had to rezone it from agriculture to residential in order to get it. So that's what I did.
All right. Anyone on the board have any questions about this one?
I'm sorry, just for clarification, your 2 acres is adjacent, right next to the house there?
My mother's house, that's just specifically what she requested that I have. In 2018, she left it in her will, but she tried to give it to me before then, and that's good.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I noticed in the state, the property right now is A1,
Yes.
and you are requesting R1.
It's agriculture, and I was told in order to get it, I had to get it rezoned to residential.
In order to get 2 acres,
Right.
it has to be R1,
That's what
because, so, any questions about that? All right, thank you very much. All right, we'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone who will speak in favor of this rezone request? Hearing none, is there anyone who wants to speak in opposition to this particular rezone request? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the board, and I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve this.
I have a motion by Mr. Bradley, a second by Ms. Fortson. Any other comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman, my concern over this one centers around, I know that there are some small parcels around there. There's nothing zoned R1, but there are some smaller parcels around there. There's also some large farms around there. This does fall into our conservation rural area, and I know that we've got citizens that want small parcels, but our policy for an AR, certainly not an R1 in this area, but an AR is 4 acres. I just feel that an R1 is inappropriate for this particular area.
And there's 3 RRs right there, right around it.
That's what I
But
said.
they're not R1s.
There.
The parcel sizes would be R1s, but these are non-conforming parcels. I understand the parcel sizes are small, but they're not considered R1s. They're considered non-conforming. So
Legally non-conforming.
legally non-conforming.
Legally non-conforming.
Correct.
I want to make that clear.
And were they not, when these parcels were made up or were RRs, that was what we called them a long time ago, weren't they? Rural residential, so that's why I think they're still RRs. They're small parcels, like there's a 2.10.
All our Rs automatically reverted to AR when it's changed.
Okay. So,
They're still grandfathered, it didn't change,
Yeah.
just changed the name.
Just
Oh,
change the
okay.
A
name.
rose is a rose.
okay, so that's what
Okay.
and it is, so we have, what we consider ARs around them.
Correct. But I'd like to make a comment, and I understand where Lee his problem with this, but I think we need to take another look avenue at it, or I take a different view of it simply because this is something, she's requesting something that her mother left her that she had no control over at that point, and the rules changed since then. So I think that we've got to take all of that in consideration when we sit here and we can't go because it's just plain black and white. I think we've got to look at all of it and then make the decision as to what needs to be done. And I understand we have a comp plan and we have these areas that we'll set aside for this, and we need to do that as much as possible. But sometimes there's extenuating circumstances that I think we need to consider. That's from my point of view. Anyone else? We have a motion on the floor, and I'll carry through. Bruce?
Well, just add to your comments a little bit. My wife and I, we drive around the countryside looking at the places, and it really is a real pleasure to see that. It is the rural nature of the county, it's beautiful, but I think a key part of that as well is that there are interspersed homesteads there, which is indicative of a family farm. And that's as opposed to huge agribusiness. So I'm not that concerned. I mean, agricultural land for sure, but cutting out portions for a family that's operating, working the land, doesn't seem like that's going to be too deleterious to the comprehensive plan. Unless, of course, we're looking at the comprehensive plan as essentially limiting and driving out small parcels so that it's more suitable for bigger business operations. Yeah, what I mean. So, I mean, and this one's, as I was driving up to it, there's so many small places all around it. It's really, it won't be noticeable at all. Again, based on this circumstance.
All right, any other comments? Now we have a motion on the floor. I believe the motion was made by Kenny, second by Cynthia. Okay, we're ready to vote. We'll start with you, Bruce.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Has been approved, 6-1. We will recommend to the Board of Commissioners that they, accept this rezone. All right. Moving on, Dave and Cindy Poor.
And they are requesting to rezone their 10.94 acres from A1 to AR to allow a 4-acre split for their son's home site. The property is located at 0 Highway 174 in Danielsville on map 49, parcel 95-01 in District 4.
All right, Dave and Cindy, you Dave?
My name is Dave Poor. I live at 4886
Highway 174, and that is correct. I actually own two tracts. One's a 10-acre, one's 11, and the 11 acre is the one that I want to cut off 4 acres for my son and his wife to build a house on. They live in Athens right now and want to move out in the country and be by us. So that's the whole story.
Any questions for this gentleman? All right, thank you, sir.
Okay.
We will open the public hearing. Is there anyone who wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Hearing none, is there anyone who wants to speak in opposition? Hearing none, I'll bring it back to the board for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we, approve as presented.
A motion by Ms. Smith,
Second.
second by Ms. Harlan. Any further discussion? If not, we'll start the vote. Cynthia?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
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 Yes. This has been approved, 7-0. We will recommend to the Board of Commissioners for approval. Again, there will be a second public hearing at that meeting. All right, number 4, Myron Sexton. Myron Sexton, are you present? By the rules of Mr. Sexton is not here or a representative for him, this one will be denied. Number 5, Larry and Joyce Phelps. Phillips, he's here, Ms. Tracy. You want to tell us about it?
Yes. They are requesting to rezone their 15.5 acres from A1 to AR to allow 2 splits for a total of 3 tracts. The property is located at 898 East Commerce Road in Commerce on map 3, parcel 4 in District 1.
Mr. Phillips, will you come forward? Tell us what you want us to know.
What I wanted to do, we were able to find this piece of property and, to be able to take it and, have my oldest son and my oldest grandson to be able to be there with us on the property. And, you know, that's basically it. You know, it's just to be able to have them there to, coming down the home stretch here to be able to support us.
Okay. Questions for Mr. Phillips?
Do you currently live on the property?
We're moving from Brazelton down there, but, you know, we haven't got everything moved down there yet.
But there's a home on the property.
It's gonna be, oh, yeah.
That middle parcel would have the home on it?
At the very center part is the middle property where the home will be. I mean, it's already there, but we'll be moving into it.
Any other questions or? All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Hearing none, anyone want to speak in opposition? Hearing none, I'll bring it back to the board and I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve as asked.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Fortson. I get a second. A second by Mr. Gandy. Any further discussion? If not, Kenneth?
Yes.
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 Yes. Well, I'll have a 7-0 approval. We will recommend to the Board of Commissioners that this actually be approved.
Thank you.
So thank you. All right, number 6, David Russell.
Okay. And he is requesting to rezone a 12.08 acre portion of the 65.46 acres from A1 to A2 to allow it to be split to gift his son for a home site. The remaining 53.38 acres will stay in the A1 zone. Property is located at 1008 Wagner's Grave Church Road in Calvert on map 72, parcel 9 in District 5.
Mr. Russell, are you here?
I'm David Russell. I live at 1008 Wagner Grove Church Road, and as was stated, I want to split off 12 acres for my son to build a house and live there.
Will there be a separate drive, or you'll use the same driveway that you use?
It's a separate driveway.
Separate driveway.
That, gravel road I seen going up,
Yes,
is that their separate road?
that's the new driveway for the 12 acres.
Right, any questions, any other further questions from the board? Thank you, sir. We'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone here that wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Hearing none, is there anyone to speak in opposition? If not, we'll close the public hearing and I'll entertain a motion. I'll make a motion that this be approved. A motion by me and a second by Lee to approve this rezone request. I'm a yes.
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 7-0 to approve. Again, that's a public hearing before the county commissioners, and we will recommend for approval. Right, Lisa Bruce, Vice.
And Lisa Bice is requesting to rezone a 4-acre portion of her 32.41 acres from A1 to AR to allow it to be split for her son's home site. The remaining 28.41 acres will stay in the A1 zone. The property is located at 2322 Holman Altry Road in Danielsville on map 42, parcel 18 in District 2.
Ms. Rice, please come forward and.
Lisa Bice. I live at 236 Norfolk Circle, and I am wanting to have 4 acres rezoned for my son to move out there, put a home there. Pretty much the reason we chose that is there's a, I guess I don't have to go into all that, but there's already a septic tank there. It's a wooded lot, so we can't use it for the cattle or hay fields, so that requires requesting that.
All right, any questions from the board? Hearing none, thank you very much. Open the public hearing. Is there anybody who wants to speak for this rezone request? Hearing none, anyone to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing, and I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve.
Motion by Lee. Is there a second?
I'll second.
And a second by Smith. Any further discussion? If not, it's on you, Lee.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Again, that's 7-0 to approve. There is a second public hearing, so please come. Number 8 is Christy Aylenwein. Yeah, I'll let her.
You want me to read it as usual?
Yeah.
Okay. She is requesting to rezone a 5-acre portion of her 41.28 acres from A1 to AR to allow it to be split to gift her son for a home site. The remaining 36.28 acres will stay in the A1 zone. Property is located at 284 Snow Farm Road in Hull on map 17, parcel 77 in District 1.
You have something to say about that one? Okay.
Yes, sir, before we get into it, staff would ask the board to postpone this until a date certain, to be in January 16th. There was an issue at the business meeting we discussed about the road frontage.
Correct.
Not being enough.
Mhm.
We contacted, Ms. Ayline, spoke to her that she's willing to rezone the other property to be able to shift the line and give it the appropriate road frontage, the time getting a surveyor and getting with property valuation, because it would be a cougar breach, trying to allot her enough time with the holiday season and different facilities being shut down. With fitting it on the January public hearing meeting, she's not being negated for this slipping through the cracks, so to say, but we would need a vote.
Okay.
Postponement to January 16th.
With this information that has come forward is, we need to, is there a vote to postpone?
I'll make a motion to postpone to January.
Second.
And we have a vote by, motion by Kenneth, second by Cynthia to postpone this particular rezone request. Any comments, questions, discussion? Smith?
Yes.
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 Yes, yes, yes. All right, that was postponed until January 16th. Alicia Anglin?
She is requesting to rezone her 2.36 acres from A1 to R1 to allow the property line to be adjusted to take 0.21 of an acre from this parcel to add to the adjoining R1 property, which is map 36, parcel 39, to obtain ownership of a well. Property is located at 305 Langford Cary Road, and that's in Danielsville on map 36, parcel 39-03A in District 2.
Okay. Ms. Anglin, or a representative from Ms. Anglin? Good afternoon.
I'm Alicia Anglin, and I live at 305 Langford Cary Road. We are just wanting to rezone to allow the well to our neighboring property back to them.
Okay. Would you say you want to rezone it for the well to be?
The well is currently on our property, and
Yes.
we're wanting to just adjust the property line a little bit to put that back onto his property.
Okay. I got you, I understand. Any questions for Ms. Anglin?
Just to be clear, that your neighbor is gonna be accepting this 0.21 or whatever, that will actually be an addition to the existing property, not a separate 0.21 acre.
Correct. It'll just add on.
Any other questions?
When I looked at this is gonna still create, have enough road frontage once we take out that 0.21. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sorry, the standing portion of road frontage right now is 312 feet. It's 12.42 feet, sorry. It won't be enough to, cause it's roughly 30 feet. So
Okay.
they still have the 150.
So obviously the well was there. Obviously it was there. When you purchased your property, I mean.
When we purchased our property, nothing was said, and we realized after the purchase of our property, where our line was, the well, and there's also a building that belongs to them as well, is on our property.
Okay.
So we spoke with the property owner and decided to, work together and get it back to the rightful owner.
Okay. Any further questions? All right, thank you very much. All right, we will Open the public hearing. Is there anyone who wants to speak for this rezone request? Please go forward, state your name, and tell us what you want to know.
Hello, my name is Tony Winters, and I am the adjacent property owner. I would just request that the committee approve this split, not split really, but what had happened is that the property was a big property at one time, and the owner, Ms. Beasley, willed it off to all of her heirs and stuff like that. Somehow, during that process, this portion became split, and the well was actually on this portion of the property. And so once the Anglins got the property and did the survey and all of that, we found out that that was on their property, and they have been gracious enough to say that they will let it go back to the home property if the committee approves it. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Any other, anybody else wants to speak in favor? If not, is there anyone who wants to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll bring it back to the board and we'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve.
Motion by Stephanie to approve. Second. Second by Bradley. Any further discussion?
I would like to make a suggestion. I know the similar situation having to do with septic lines that we had last month ended up being approved by VOC with the condition that it cannot be split again. Just thought I'd bring that up in case, to be consistent with that one. This one's almost an identical situation dealing with R1 properties, which is fine.
But it has that one is already R1.
Right.
It's too small. It's, do it. Okay, it's too small.
It'd be too small.
Yeah.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but the last one that we looked at, the BOC elected to, on an R1.
The remaining parcel could have been split again as an R1. For this situation, neither parcel could be split again as an R1.
Right. So does this one, for consistency's sake, need to be, no?
No, because it's too small.
Okay, okay.
Good record.
Okay. So, we have a motion that this should be approved. I believe it's only
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
7-0 to approve, so, again, this will be before the Board of Commissioners. We will make a recommendation to approve, but the ultimate decision is up to them. All right, Matt Cooper?
Yes, he is with Woodland Asset Management, applicant for the McEver Ayers Family Partnership, and he is requesting to rezone their 591.91 acres from A1 to A2/R3 to allow a golf course and clubhouse to be constructed and operated on the property and for residential development. The property is located at 0 Howard Road in Hull on map 18, parcel 39 in District 1.
All right, is Matt here?
Yes, sir.
Will come forward?
See if I can go without hitting my head here.
Yes, sure.
Thought maybe the room would be cleared out by the time we got to 10 and 11. My name is Matt Kittu. My professional address is 227 Sandy Springs Place, Sandy Springs, Georgia, 30328. Thank you all for putting on this meeting this evening. Wanted to stand up here and talk a little bit about a project that I'm working on. I've got a piece of property under contract that we're working through planning and zoning right now, obviously. We've got a golf course development with some residential to support the golf course development. So I don't know how much I need to go into it. We've decided that we're going to have a town hall meeting and answer some additional questions that have been brought to our attention.
Yeah. I've been asked, by the chairman to postpone this to a date certain, so that more information can come to light as we've had questions come in and concerns. Been asked for the board to consider postponement to December 19th, our next public hearing meeting, before a vote takes place. So if some questions that y'all have would like to be posed, or the public would like to have some questions to where we can come back with better answers. At this point in time, we're still trying to get more information. We've never faced anything of this scale.
Now, I'm sorry, I'm lost again. I thought this commission was gonna have its public hearing tonight and just not vote until the 19th.
We can do that. I don't know how to phrase that.
Well, that's fine. You just go through with the public hearing. The ordinance requires you to vote within 30 days of your public hearing. So if you vote at the night, you have a meeting on December 19th,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So if you vote then, you'll be within your 30 days, and that'll be fine.
The lawyer said. We're just trying to get as much information out for y'all's consideration.
Well, let me now understand. If we hold our public hearing tonight, then they're gonna hold another public hearing as they should. But is there gonna be another meeting when they invite the
Here's what I
public to
understand.
come?
I've been trying to figure out what's going on all afternoon. Here's what I got as best I can. Is the plan was to have this public hearing tonight, and then your vote would be on the 19th. Of course, it's already been advertised for the public hearing here tonight, and for the DOC public hearing on December 4th. That on December 4th, the DOC would vote to postpone their public hearing and vote until January 8th. And then there's been talk of some sort of intervening called meeting, but it would not be one of the two required public hearings. Yours would be tonight, the DOC's would be January 8th, is the latest information I heard.
Okay. So as the county attorney, you are recommending to us.
I ain't recommending nothing, I'm just telling you about what.
We're actually depending on you to.
That will work. I mean, if that's what everybody wants to do, that will comply with law and ordinance. That'll be fine.
Any comments from the board?
Can I ask?
Go ahead.
So tonight, we can ask questions, the public can ask questions to get some information that we need in order to make a vote on the 19th. So that's what we're doing.
You're gonna do your full public hearing tonight, you just won't vote at the end.
Oh, right, I understand that.
Is that okay with you?
That's fine with me. I'm here to answer some questions, so.
One moment, go ahead. Yeah. I guess, finish this discussion.
The idea though, on the 19th, we hold the vote. Will there be an open hearing at that at all for asking questions, or are we just gonna move
No.
straight to a vote?
The public hearing for that particular vote, from what I'm hearing, we will do that tonight. And then we'll have time to think about it or whatever. And then our actual vote will be on the 19th. There will not be another public hearing from us.
If I might, you know, as an alternative, I think that perhaps just go ahead and postpone it as the Board of Commissioners plans to do, and then have our public hearing on the 19th.
We have to do it tonight.
That's it advertised.
Well, let's see, let me figure this out.
Well, that gives us plenty of time for him to tell us what he's gonna say and for us to think about it, instead of doing it all at one time. I think it's good to me,
think we'll get more information.
tonight.
Yeah, no, before the 19th. There's a lot of questions still.
Well,
I don't know if I'm prepared to address this.
No, he doesn't address our
I
question.
don't know what question I got for you.
Oh, okay.
what Stephanie's saying is probably true, it's been advertised, but, is that binding that it has to?
No, if you postpone, either body can postpone its public hearing to a date certain, announce it at the meeting tonight, and then the public has not, everybody who was here to comment tonight knows to be back in. So that's fine, you don't have to re-advertise. So I think that will work. It all hinges on the Board of Commissioners agreeing at their December 4th meeting
to postpone theirs to January 8th, but that's fine, we can assume that that's the plan.
Okay, with that information, what is the pleasure of the board?
Well, to me, and I understand what you're saying, but the questions that we had at our meeting the last time, I would like to get some of those answers so I can make a better decision on the 19th than for him to come back on the 19th and try to answer my questions, and then I'm trying to make a decision. And then we have to vote. That's my feeling.
My feelings, and I've always got one, I guess. My feeling is that I would like to, as you asked, but I also agree with Bruce that the public hearing itself needs to be postponed. I think it needs to be postponed until the 19th. I would rather do that.
I don't have a problem with it being postponed as long as I have correct information. Because the phone calls I'm getting, there's so much misinformation out there that at this point I don't even know what to tell the people. So as long as I get correct information and maybe not a few days before our vote, maybe a few weeks before our vote where I can do my due diligence. Other than that, it doesn't matter to me when the public hearing is.
So you're saying the public won't be able to ask questions or not? Because we're going to ask them questions.
No, so the recommendation from the chairman, Scott, is to postpone tonight's hearing to a date certain, that being December 19th, and you would hear it and vote at the same time, and that's fine legally. Ideally, as Ms. Harmon said, what that time would be used for further communication between the applicant and staff, to, at some point, before that meeting, to get to you all that additional information, along with a resolution containing proposed conditions that staff thinks would be appropriate for a development of this size. And you'll have that before the meeting, you'll have a public hearing, and then you'll have your chance to deliberate and vote. That's the way it should work.
Yes, sir.
If we should vote to postpone it this evening, does that mean that we can't ask any questions right now? That has to be deferred until the 19th?
If you want to, that's fine. I just need you to say which one is your public hearing. Is it going to be tonight or is it going to be the 19th?
The public hearing, okay, I won't say. I guess.
But if you want to take up, if Mr. Scott or one of the board members here wants to make a motion to postpone the public hearing to December the 19th, and it's seconded and approved, that's great. And if this gentleman's willing to stand here and talk to you a few minutes and you want to after that, that's fine.
And any questions y'all may have in hand that your constituents or appointees have given y'all, you can email me or Ms. Tracy, either one of us, will formulate the list and get it to Mr. Katu so that he can get answers to it.
What I would suggest also is, we've got some other rezone requests. Rather than holding these people, if we're going to postpone the public hearing, Mr. Katu would agree to move him to the end so that we may ask them questions, but not hold a public hearing. That way we won't hold people here if the motion is approved to delay it.
I know what he said, John, over by.
No, that will still be open to the public. It just means.
Well, they can be here, but.
Yeah.
Don't chime in.
They just don't know about having a forum with people before, the meetings and all. Will that still be held, or the public can ask questions, ask certain questions, or do they need to send them to Christopher?
Okay,
No,
so.
that'll be on the 19th. That'll be the public hearing. We will have a public hearing that the public can come and express their comments, and that will still happen. Okay. At this point,
Can I make one suggestion?
Sure.
Not that it's the right one, it's an option. Would it be appropriate to have Mr. Katu to come back to our business meeting to answer a question, to give us an explanation as to what's going on here, and then we would have enough time to prepare from there to voting time and the public hearing, instead of taking up all of the time tonight or for various reasons. Would it be more appropriate for the business?
That's fine too. And again, that would be put on the agenda as a public meeting. That wouldn't be the public input time, that'll still be on the 19th, but the public will certainly be at the meeting. They'll get notice of it through the agenda that's published in the paper, and, and they can be here to listen.
I can just envision this taking a long time. It's gonna take a lot of questions and answers and things, and just.
Yeah.
So does that have to be advertised?
Which one?
All our meetings are advertised, so we have enough time, right?
You've got enough time.
Okay.
Would you like to make that in form of a motion?
Sure.
Postpone public hearing till December 19th at 6 o'clock, and also place this on the agenda for the, what's that meeting?
Business meeting on the.
The 5th of December.
December 5th.
All right. Got that, Tracy?
You know, is that suitable for you?
Yes, sir, yes. And I'm glad to stick around this evening too, so I'm not skipping out of here.
And you first mentioned about a town hall. Is that something that you were going to get?
Maybe get some community input, yes, sir.
And go over with them and in the meantime?
Yes, sir.
So is that something you're gonna publicize?
It's not a date certain, but I was gonna send something out and try and make it aware that if there's some people with some concerns or questions that, we could find a place to meet and discuss further, because sometimes you present a project and you get crickets, and sometimes you present a project and there's an uproar, and so, anyway, I'll make myself available for sure. And I'm glad to stick around this evening too, so you can continue on.
We have a meeting room that we can offer for that, in East Sanford Volunteer Fire Department Station number 1, in East Commerce Road. We can use that facility for just that if you're willing. Perfect, if you got a card, I'll take it.
If you guys can work that out, that'd be great. You wanna make a motion, please? Or he's already made it. I get a second.
So you'll be here on our business meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, also. Okay, we have a motion by Lee. Tracy, you wanna read that back to us?
Okay, the board voted to postpone voting on the rezone and conditional use until the December 19th public hearing meeting, and also to place this on the agenda, the December the 5th business meeting agenda for discussion.
Motion by Lee, second by Bruce. Any further discussion? Not, Bruce?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, that is. So for everybody here to clarify, this public hearing will be on December 19th.
Right here.
Right here.
The December 5th one we can't go to.
Yes,
You can come to that. Everything's open. Is it here too? Yes, it's here too. It's here too at 6 o'clock on December 5th.
That's right, yes.
All right, thank you, sir. We certainly appreciate it.
All right.
That's good, how you doing? All right. All right, if I can have everybody's attention, please. Number 12, Alex Allen.
He is requesting to rezone a 6-acre portion of his 178.63 acres from A1 to AR to allow it to be split to sell to the adjoining property owner, which is map 29, parcel 87-01, for desired privacy buffer. The remaining 172.63 acres will stay in the A1 zone, The property is located at 0 Jameson Road in Hull on map 29, parcel 87 in District 3.
All right, Mr. Allen? One moment, hold on just a second. Chris,
Sir,
would you mind?
Yes, sir. Is Scott in the hallway tonight?
I think so.
Oh, I want to hear you. Yeah, I know, bro. Retired, I want to hear you.
Scott's getting them, sir.
All right. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
My name's Alex Allen, and I live at 382 Jameson Road. And I'm here to, what we get worked out, sale of 6 acres from A1 to AR. And basically, sell that to my new neighbor who's building a house adjoining this piece of property. I'm gonna make a good neighbor. If I pick my neighbors, that's pretty good.
All right.
Anyway, I want to do this because I'm buying 8 acres from another family member. He's not a family member, but taking that money and buying 8 acres from a family member down the road.
All right.
Once I get this transaction done.
Do you have any questions for Mr. Allen?
It does say to adjoin, just to make sure your neighbor is gonna combine this 13 acres with this 6 to make one parcel.
Any further questions? Thanks, sir. All right, we'll go to the public hearing. Anybody here wants to speak in favor of this rezone request? Hearing none, anybody who wants to speak in opposition? Hearing none, I'll bring it back to the board and entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve this,
Motion by Stephanie, second by Lee. Any further discussion? If not, Cynthia.
There be a petition?
Nobody made one in the motion.
To combine. There to be combined. No, we haven't.
Vote please.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Vote 7-0 to approve. Again, there will be a second public hearing at the commission's meeting. You're welcome to come. All right. David and Tracy Dove.
Okay, the first one they have, they are requesting to rezone their 11.14 acres from A1 to A2 to combine with their adjoining property, map 89, parcel 3, for a total of 16.80 acres for tax purposes. Property is located at 4040 Wildcat Ridge Road in Royston on map 89, parcel 2 in District 4. And this is the first site plan that they're.
Okay, are we doing 14 or 13?
We're doing, I'm so sorry, 13. I
The board would
apologize.
like they could take up 13 and 14 in one motion.
Okay, all right.
And I'm sorry, I misread, I'm making it start.
Okay, let's start.
I apologize. They are requesting to rezone their 5.66 acres from AR to A2 to combine with their adjoining property of 89 parcel, map 89 parcel 2 for a total of 16.8 acres for tax purposes. And the property is located at 3984 Wildcat Ridge Road in Royston on map 89 parcel 3 in District 4.
Okay, you've heard both of them, so you want, Ms. Dove, y'all wanna tell us what you want?
Yes, sir. We've owned 3984 since 2004. We built a home on it. And the 11.14 acres at 4040 we've just purchased it this year, and we just want to combine them together.
Okay.
Because we own both of them.
All right. Any questions from the board? Hearing none?
There's two homes on the property, there will be two homes on the property, both homes.
Yes, sir. 4040 has a house on it closer to the road, and then ours is on 3984 property now.
So one will be considered an ADU.
Yes, sir. The one that's directly on the road frontage, y'all came by, it's a small brick house, small brick house.
So that one's smaller than the.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
700 square foot.
The first one is a Melton's 11. Okay, and our house is, the first one's only 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, the brick house on 4040. Ours on 39 is roughly 2,800 square foot. That's a 2-story house.
Okay, no problem. All right. Thank you very much. We will open the public hearing. If anyone wants to speak in favor of this rezone request or these, combining these properties together? Hearing none, is anyone speaking opposition? Hearing none, I'll bring it back to the board and entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve as presented.
A motion by Mr. Smith to approve,
Second.
second by Cynthia. Any further discussion? If not, Kenneth?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, 7-0 to approve. We will recommend to the Board of Commissioners, and there is a second public hearing at their meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, that concludes all of our rezone requests. Item 2 for the board is to discuss our new meeting schedule for 2024. Like all of you have that, and I'll need a motion to approve.
No, sir, that would be our business meeting, we're just discussing.
Just discuss.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Well, is there any discussion? I don't know anything to discuss.
Let us go home and look at our calendar. Then we can-
Okay, well, I don't think we'll change it. Okay.
Doesn't interfere with any federal holidays.
Oh.
Okay, discuss the appointment of a new chairperson and vice chair for the Planning and Zoning Commission. That happens every year. This year is a little bit strange, I think, because there's something commissioners have to do prior to holding an election. Number one, we voted at our business meeting to recommend to them that they, that we leave the structure of the P&Z from 5 to 7 until the rewrite of the zoning regulations. The second one is, there's 2 of us, the terms are up. They have not reappointed or appointed new persons. So I don't see how we can elect a chair or a new chair, and we don't know where we are. We're kind of in the middle. So that will have to be postponed until they do what they're supposed to do, and then we'll hold an election. Am I correct in that?
Yes, sir. I was just saying that, again, that would have been a discussion tonight and then voted at the business meeting. So when's the business meeting? Yeah. Okay. So the Board of Commissioners could fix things on the 4th, and you'd be ready to vote on the 5th.
They could. I don't know what their agenda is or whatever. I was just told that they won't take that up until December. So.
Okay.
Anybody in the conflict, that's all I know. That's all I can say. Yes.
Just spitballing with y'all here. I think until they decide on a change, our mentality as staff and board is to continue on like it is. you know, 'cause they may postpone again like they did last time or table it again. But as Mr. Scott was saying, we have no idea about the appointments.
Right.
Either, but until we're told otherwise, as far as we're concerned, with staff, we're trucking on like no change.
We'll drive on down the road till
Yes, sir.
the roadblock says stop. Okay. Now, with that being said, is there any old business? No old business. Mr. Katu, would you all like to discuss with him a few minutes? He's with us?
I think that's why some of us stayed.
Yes, sir. Please come.
Wasn't taking feedback from.
Just to make this clear, we're gonna listen to him. The board may ask him a few questions. This is not a public hearing, so, if the audience has questions or comments, please wait until the 19th.
Can we ask a question real quick? Is the 19th postponement, will it be advertised in the paper so other people know it's been postponed, other than people that came here?
No, it'll just, no.
Because and then will the town hall meeting happen before the meeting you guys are gonna have on the 19th again? So.
I have no idea, that's up to him.
Okay, okay.
That's not involving the
All right,
government.
so here's the other question then. Will the board attend that pending meeting, that he's going to arrange to hear what the public has to say?
They're not required to attend, but if they choose to.
So basically what's happening.
We're not required to, but I can almost assure you that all of us will be there. So we're in.
Let's not confuse whatever is done privately
Right.
in the town hall between the applicant and the public with what's going on with the government here.
Okay.
Well, as an elected officials, we're inviting you to come to hear his town hall meeting so you can hear the consensus of the people, whether it's for or opposed. And I think you would have a better scope of questions being asked in that meeting than in the 19th, right before Christmas.
Well, sir, I understand what you're saying, but we've already addressed that. We're gonna speak with him on the.
If this is just a question I had.
We're gonna speak with him at our business meeting.
Right.
The 1st of December.
Yeah.
So we will have actually had an opportunity to ask him questions, to hear his presentation.
Okay.
And when he has his meeting, I have no idea. You know, but I'm, like I said, I'm sure we're all gonna attend, but we don't have to.
That's fine.
What we've done is offer two more
Yes, sir.
public meetings.
I'm gonna put a piece of paper at the back of the room, and if you could just put your name and email address on it, I'm gonna lock in, hopefully, the fire station, and then I'll email you and let you know date, time. You know, the intent's not to keep you out of it, so.
Will you publicize that in the paper? Your town hall?
So the county knows that it's occurred.
It's just us getting emails, we don't know everybody in the county.
Well, this is a public hearing, and I'll be back for another.
If you don't have a public
Announcement.
announcement, how are they gonna know to come to a town hall meeting?
I've got a feeling that if you put your email address on here and I let you guys know, it's gonna hit social media or something, and more people are gonna know than the newspaper, honestly.
All right, sir, we need to move on.
I'll put this at the back here.
So basically, y'all just don't have enough information to have a meeting tonight, right?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
From the two.
Correct.
Okay.
And
That's
what we're
good. We need to
doing with
get
the
more
postponement is
information.
offering two more meetings with the public.
Cause I know the sign in front of my house, for the rezoning wasn't put up till last Friday.
That was in addition to the other signs that were put up.
So I mean, I want y'all to have more information so we'll all know, you know, which way to go.
Yes, sir. And then that's what staff is
Okay.
trying to
I
do, is
understand.
give more time for more information, more public hearings,
Okay.
to give it a chance for more information.
All right, Mr. Khalil?
I don't know, if you've got some questions, I mean, we focus on this piece of property as a site for a golf course, and the residential's to complement the golf course. And that's the sole intent of the rezoning, is a golf course with a residential community attached to it. The 600 acres, 590 acres is a site that we've targeted in a general location geographically around the Athens area. We've looked at several sites over the course of the past 12 to 18 months. This site has checked all the boxes for us relative to the golf course. We've had our golf course architect on site 3 times. The soils are right for a golf course, the way the property lays, the topography, the drainage, everything lends itself to a future golf course. And so the big thing is we're attracted to the property over the golf course. The residential is something that makes sense to accompany a golf course. So that's kind of the short story on it.
Of the 600 acres, how much of it will be proposed golf course and how much of it?
So the way it's laying out, it's an 18-hole golf course with driving range, clubhouse, maintenance facility, and then that takes up half of the 590 acres, and the other half is roughly lays out for residential.
We have, I guess, a question about there's pipelines that go through.
Yes, ma'am. 2 of them.
Yeah. So do I see, well, according to your diagram, or this, that some of the homes will be backing up close to that?
Yes, ma'am. There will be, you can have lots backing up to the pipeline. Obviously, no homes will be placed on the pipeline. We also are envisioning some sort of septic system, whether it be individual or a community system. So that's going to play into the layout of the final layout of the actual houses, but we're aware that we cannot build or have the home sites on the actual pipeline.
Okay, you're talking about septic. That's another, because there's the water, well, Madison County don't have the water system.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're talking about septic, maybe individual, so with individual septic, you have to have a septic plus so many other, inches or feet for another septic drainage or whatever.
Right, yes,
So
ma'am.
that's what I'm saying, that pipeline, is that?
The pipeline will not be utilized as a leach field. I don't think we're allowed to do that. I'm almost 99.9%. That would shock me if we could use it as a leach field. So the intention is not to utilize it as a leach field. We have to do a phase level 4 soil study and get with the health department to determine locations and the proper soils for approving the leach field, and your health department will be the ones to approve that.
Is there, what is your plan for water?
So for the golf course, we're going to have wells for water and irrigation ponds, and then we can explore the idea of wells for the actual home sites as well, or explore the idea to try and bring in public water.
From Clark County?
No, sir. I was thinking of Madison County.
We have water down in the area?
No. And we have a 12-inch water main right at 106. The entrance for the development is 0.9 miles from it.
What type of clientele are you inviting in this community size homes you trying to deal with?
So right now we're working with our builder on some specifications on the homes, but the intention for the homes are to service the golf course. We've got golf people that are looking to be in the area, and it's going to be more based off of second homes, honestly. So initially we'll be talking to everybody that will be part of the golf course, see if they want to purchase, and then potentially open from there to the public. But when I say that, we will have stringent architectural controls over the community, just for the fact that the homes will be around the golf course, and so we want to control the aesthetics of those homes, whether it be HOA standards from, cars in the street, architectural control on the homes, the exterior finishes on the homes.
What size homes you?
So I don't want to say exactly what size homes as of yet, because we're still locking that in, and that's part of the reason we want to push out the hearing, so that I can come back with, hey, this is our architectural controls and here's our square footage anticipated.
Can I ask you when you will have, because I know we've, voted on subdivisions before, and they were able to show us the type of home.
Yes, ma'am.
What it was made out of, what
Yes,
it
ma'am.
was gonna look like. And according to this, it looks like, what is the acreage? Do you know the acreage yet of each home?
So the site plan is minimum, it's based off of the county standards, so we're showing a minimum of 3/4 of an acre on that site plan. Now, that's if we had perfect soils and could do a house, septic tank, make everything work. I think we all know that ultimately there's gonna be a range of lot sizes that everybody in this room is probably on septic and they know that you can't just perfectly place a septic and just make it work on 3/4 of an acre. So, the site plan is for initial preliminary purposes to detail kind of the max, but that'll be determined as the soils make it further and we meet more with the health department and get our plans fully approved through health relative to the individual houses.
Will this community or this golf course be a private course as such, or will it be public?
Private. Yes, sir.
Which project will you start first, the residential or the golf course?
So we sought out the site for the golf course. The intention is for the golf course to start and then phase in the residential, like I said, mainly to the members of the golf course. But there is going to be an opportunity that we open it up and sell off houses. So I don't want you to think that it's only members living in the community.
Do you have like a preliminary date, like when y'all would want the golf course?
Well, I'd love to have it spring of next year, but there's a lot of steps between us and that. You know, golf course depends on when you start it, it's got a grow-in season. You've got, from start to finish, you've got 18 to 24 months before you're playing golf. We have a lot of steps, zoning being the first step. Then we go to full plan review and start the process of designing, like doing the detailed design, including the infrastructure for the community, which has to all go through Madison County for approvals before we can actually get started.
I noticed on the site plan there, you had the, exit from the subdivision coming out on the side of the road there. And you have the, where you.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
All the traffic coming out there is gonna be killer on that road.
We're not anticipating a ton of traffic due to the fact that it is a private club, and believe it or not, for the amount of houses it seems, we're talking about less than 200 houses on that, or 200 lots on that site plan. The traffic count and the traffic usage of Sanford Road is not going to be all that heavy, but we are proposing an additional entrance off Pelican and Springs. I don't know which site plan you have, but there is a revised site plan that does have a Pelican Springs entrance as well.
Now, that Pelican Springs entrance will be Clark County?
They're all Madison County, yes, sir.
Okay.
Could we get a copy of that? Is that something, because what we're
Yes.
thinking, our packet is very
I understand.
small and you're not able to really see much detail, so any that you could get to us on the front side. Obviously, with something that, with this magnitude, is there something that you're emulating, or is there something that we could begin to look at, another development that you've been a part of, that this is the brainchild, or to kind of help us as we're
We'll be
moving in that
able
direction?
to share those details. That's part of the reason we wanted to push out, is just to make certain that we're all on the same page relative to staff has some questions. I want to be able to address those. Advance our plan. It's a very preliminary plan you're seeing. We've got a land planner working on a revised plan currently. That I received my first rough draft of it today. And so for the town hall, I should have that plan ready to talk to the public about and you know, advance it even further before we meet on the 18th.
I have a question. You said something about these might be second homes. And is this gonna be like a gated community?
So as of right now, we're not showing a gate. As of right now, we're planning on public streets.
Okay, but,
I don't want to say it'll never be gated
so that
because,
means the county is responsible.
If it's ungated,
Yeah.
when the subdivision build is complete, then they would be adopted over by the county.
Okay. But
If
you,
it's gated, then private.
yeah, that's what I was wondering, why, is it gonna be gated or not? And also, you said second home, well, you can't really control the HOA or anything, but rentals, since you're saying second home, that means opportunity for rentals? Cause I'm not gonna be there all year long.
Right.
That means I'm not a person that, this is my primary home.
right, I understand. Let me answer that question at the next meeting and have more clarity for you on that.
Yeah, because how many people are gonna be secondary, but you don't, I mean, that's something that you probably know, the HOA and all.
Right.
Well, what I would ask of you is, at our meeting, at our business meeting on the 1st of December, have as much, and I know you can't have it all, but have as much information as you can, so that we will be able to take that, work with it, and then our public meeting on the 19th, we will be well versed in.
So here is my suggestion.
All right?
You have heard me say this, the Board of Commissioners has heard me say this, and I will say it again. All these questions and answers are great, but none of the things you're told are binding and enforceable unless they are made conditions of the rezone. And on something this complex, those need to be worked out ahead of time. And I have sent Christopher and Christina a template already for the way other counties do it, with a resolution that has all the conditions written out. Now, I strongly encourage the applicant to work with planning staff and be as forthcoming as possible. And I know Madison County, unlike bigger counties, does not require a lot of these things as part of the application. But if you don't have those things worked out ahead of time, reduced written form that could be then considered by this commission and the Board of Commissioners with minimal changes and adopted, then you're going to have very messy meetings with appointed and elected officials trying to write conditions verbally on the fly that may or may not result in an approval of the rezone. Rant over.
Here's my rant. As long as that information that goes to you and Tracy is given to us, I think there's been a lot of lack of communication, with this whole case, and, the more information I have to go with, the better educated decision I can make. So just getting it to us in a timely manner is huge.
I understand that request. We do not send anything out of the office until it's verified. We do not share speculative information.
Well, I mean, the bottom line is, what you need are things that are definite that you can put in a resolution that are conditions of the rezone. And that's going to be largely dependent, again, because we don't have ordinances that require that detail at this point. That is incumbent upon the applicant to share that information and make sure that planning staff has it to give to you in the proper form. And if they don't, and that means, again, nobody's predicting anything, I think the applicant's success is certainly enhanced by providing as much detail and as much commitment as possible.
And when we don't have questions asked until the business meeting, and we only have 2 weeks to try and verify the information and to request the information, there's just not enough time. So it's not a lack of communication, it's a lack of time. And so if the board has questions on anything, email staff, and then that allows us to get the questions answered ahead of time. That's the reason we give the packets out. So,
All right, we've been here a while, so, we seem to have our plans as to what we're gonna do, and we can restate them on our business meeting, The applicant will be here. Public is invited to come. Not a public hearing, but we will be able to ask him more questions and he'll be able to give us detailed information that he wants us to know, so we can make the proper decision. On December 19th, we will come back, hold a public hearing, so the public will be able to speak and so we can make an appropriate decision, and then it will go back to the board of commissioners. So, with that, if you will allow me, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll let Bonnie go.
I make a motion.
I'll second.
Thank you.